Paul. A fragile state can be defined as a state that is particularly vulnerable, to internal and external shocks and domestic and international conflicts. A failed state can be defined as a condition of state collapse. It can no longer perform its basic functions and has no effective control over its territory and borders. It looks to me that as a sheriff's department, you no longer can perform the basic function of enforcing the laws of the United States. You understand, Bill? You can no longer perform your basic function of law enforcement. Now, as a judiciary, you no longer can perform the basic function of judging cases. Ouch. And for each and every attorney oath, and all the mandatory reporters that just can no longer perform their basic functions, this fragile state known as the United States of America, it seems that they need some help in understanding the rule of law that is critical for democracy. The rule of law, is cornerstone for all other elements of democracy, a free and fair political system, protection of human rights, and a vibrant civil society, public confidence in the police and the courts, and economic development all depend upon accountable governments, fair and accessible application of the law, respect for international human rights standards. Ooh. Now, this rebuilding justice institutions known as the judicial system of the United States of America. I would have been, well, I thought that it would have been easier if somebody just arrested you and put you in prison. But you decided that I was going to court on the 4th of January. You were going to continue with the court hearing when I had proven that my wife has always been the credible threat to the health and well-being of my sons because of her enrolling them in school 2 grades behind where they should be at. Your whole thought was, well, we'll just continue to obstruct him from suing us. And my whole thought is now I'm going to involve the international organizations. In fact, I went to USAID. Could you give me every IP address of USAID? Pow, pow, pow. In fact, I downloaded a little document that had something to do with the government's involvement in what's it called? Government's involvement in the religious community. Could you give me all the grant money that's been spent on all of those in the religious community? Yes, yes, yes. Now, my thought was that the Obama administration wanted to encourage the charities, and we were spending tax dollars on pastors, churches, and charities, parachurch organizations, and then they run out of money for some reason. Now, let's see here. I remember this actual. I just I went to their website, the final facts sheet of the USAID 2016. Yeah. Why don't you get me all the charities that have received government funding? Yes. The Center for Faith-Based and Community Initiatives. Oh. Now, this fact sheet is the promulgation of executive orders, final rule implementing Executive Order 13559, fundamental principles and policy-making criteria for partnerships with faith-based and other neighborhood organizations, dated April 5th of 2016. Yeah. Now, this is promulgated, right? These executive orders that are enforceable that you can spend tax dollars on. In response to Advisory Council's recommendation, November 17, 2010, President Obama issued Executive Order 13559, Fundamental Principles and Policy-Making Criteria for Partnerships. Yeah. Equal protection of the laws for faith-based and community organizations. Yes. How much have we spent on these executive orders? I mean, was it like $10 billion, $20 billion? In fact, could you get me all the executive orders of each and every administration for the last, let's say 50 years? Pooch. Now, I know a lot of presidents, they say, well, we've had an interagency working group on faith-based and other neighborhood partnerships. Yes. And the President recommending changes necessary to ensure that relevant regulations and guidance documents are consistent with fundamental principles set forth in an executive order. Yes. We've allocated X number of hundreds of billions of dollars to these different executive orders that have been signed by the President. But I'm kind of thinking that I can have. Oh, I'm sorry. Your executive orders no longer are enforceable as final rule issues new regulation or amends. Why don't you get me those executive orders from every administration? I'm going to go through them. I'm going to go through every fucking right now. Uh-oh. Somebody's been spending tax dollars on their executive orders. Yes. Let's see here. Clarify what activities can and cannot be supported with direct federal financial assistance. By replacing the use of the term inherently religious activities with the term explicitly religious activities and providing examples of such activities. Yeah. And then prohibit organizations that receive federal financial assistance for social service programs from discriminating against beneficiaries, including denying services or benefits based on religion, a religious belief, a refusal to hold a religious belief, or a refusal to attend and participate in religious practice. Clarify that standards in the regulations apply to sub awards as well as prime awards. Yeah, just give me the sub awards and the prime awards. Now, I know when you attach to stigma, I'm going to go through the actual Federal Register where there's been a promulgation of the executive orders that have authorized the grants and financial assistance of every executive order of the White House right now. Seems the president's too busy to actually have to handle any of these problems. What are you doing? Oh, oh, just did you sign an executive order and give yourself some more money? Oh, now the World Justice Project. Yeah, could you get me all the IP addresses and the Rule of Law Index 2011? Did I already download this? Oh, maybe I did. Um, I'm kind of thinking, oh my gosh, look at all the LLPs. GE Foundation. Could you get me all of those that have contributed? Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation, LexisNexis. Oh, the Newcomb Family Foundation was made possible by generous support. Just put that in quotations on every web page and website. Quote, generous support. Quote. I'd like to know all the billionaires and all their various philanthropic endeavors, yes, that have, because of their generous support, made possible all of this charity. Okay? Generous supporters. GE Foundation, the Ford Foundation, the Kauffman Foundation, the William Flora Howlett Endowment for Democracy. The Oak Foundation, the Intel Corporation, General Electric Company, the Boeing Company. Seems these corporations, they've been generously supporting various. Oh, there's that corporate liability right now. The American Bar Association section, American Bar Association, Health and Law, American Bar Association, American Bar, U.S. Chamber of Commerce. As affiliate of the U.S. Chamber of Commerce, because I emailed the Chamber of Commerce in this nation, another nation. Why don't you get me the generous support of the United States Chamber of Commerce? Because I'll sue every fucking one of you, do you understand? For your bullshit.